All right, we're back. Call number 44. Super excited about this. It's hilarious because I got one of the NJ greats on the line, and I'm reporting live from Delaware. I'm at my sister's house, going out to Virginia tomorrow to meet up with Paolo the Great. We're going to do some crazy stuff tomorrow. We're doing OA sourcing, RA sourcing. It's going to be absolutely nuts. But today, I brought my man on. It was Aquino. I literally just met him like 3 months ago. He is the quintessential foundational story about networking and meeting new people. We were out in the grocery outlet. It was me. It's actually funny. I thought Aquino was Brian Knoll. When I saw his cart, I'm like, oh, that's a weird looking cart. Like, why is there so much stuff in it? And if you do RA, you know what an RA cart looks like. And I'm like, oh, that must be Brian because I'm meeting him. And I look up, it's some black guy. That Brian's not black. So I was like, oh, I don't know who that is. So I go and I find Brian, and we just happened to find this crazy sauce. It was on sale for like $1.55 or something, and it was selling for like $9. It was crazy profitable. And then I don't know, you can tell his story, Aquino. You can tell me exactly what happened in your head. But I think Aquino was like walking by with his cart, and he saw these clowns like picking up like half a pallet of freaking Kinder sauce, and he's like, these guys sellers. And he did what you're supposed to do. He's not weird, because actually we'll talk about it too. We'll talk about that weird lady that we met. He wasn't weird. He just came over and said, hey, are you guys Amazon sellers? And we're like, yeah, you a seller too. And that was it. We had a little conversation. We walked apart, and then we came back somehow, and we ended up having more of a conversation, exchanged numbers, and we've been cool ever since. Now Aquino's in the Jersey chat. We're doing sourcing all over the place. And what I realized when I was talking to him is that he doesn't just sell on Amazon. He also sells on Walmart. And you'll hear his sales over the last 6 months have been crazy and only going up. He's got crazy experience. He used to work at Amazon. He used to be in retail at Target. And so I was like, hey, if you're cool with it, let's get on the line. Let's bring you to the community, help them understand, because I know there's a couple people we were just talking that are on Walmart, thinking about Walmart, have done it, not made any sales. Let's talk about your experience and help people see the opportunity. Cheryl was just talking about it a little bit. It's like, she hasn't seen sales in a couple of days on Amazon or on Walmart. And it's like, you have multiple platforms, Amazon, Walmart, eBay, because there's going to be downtimes. There's going to be Section 3s, but what's your backup? Because you still got to pay rent. Aquino's got a son. Like, how does he feed his kid? And if Amazon goes away or Walmart goes away, what's your backup? So all that to say, I had to bring my man Aquino on today. He's an absolute stud. So thank you for hopping on, and just introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about your background, and we'll get started.
Hey, man. So my name is Aquino Jerome. I work for, as Omar said, I work for Amazon. Basically for 9 years at Amazon. I was a senior leader. So senior leader in the operation field, doing pretty well, making good money. But then I think 2 years ago is when I started realizing, like, hey, I got to invest a lot of time at this job, like from a corporate standpoint. I was a senior leader, so basically always on call. My phone, I'm always checking emails. I ran multiple warehouses, so I get calls and messages all through the day. And I felt like I needed to do something different, man. So kind of stumbled upon Amazon, basically selling. And I started to do it while I was working at Amazon. So started off like kind of like a side hustle. So actually it's funny, is like it basically started when I got my son. When my girl told me, hey, she was pregnant. I said, hey, man, I need to start making some more money. We're doing fine, but that light bulb just went off. Like, I need to own a business or do something, because now I'm about to have a son, right? So from then I basically looked into Amazon, found someone on Instagram, then did the whole 9 yards, then started looking at YouTube videos like everybody else. So For literally for 1 year straight, I was just start like doing it bit by bit while I was working, having this corporate job. So um as a senior leader, I will kind of like have the opportunity to kind of go to multiple sites, work from home sometimes or whatever. So like, I was going out to my sites. I was taking that opportunity to just either pick up something, right, source something, and I was doing it at a very much a small scale. So um, learned that way, and I think that was like a good way. I maybe like 6 months straight, just kind of like picking up information, looking at the YouTube videos. Me and Omar, like we literally had a chat about like certain people that we followed together and what's cool about them or what's corny about them or whatever the case is. But I think I did the whole new Amazon seller kind of like experience, right? And I'm very grateful for that particular um time, like learning the business, because that taught me a lot, right? Within that time frame, I was doing it at a side hustle, and I kind of get up to like, I think I was like averaging around 14K a month doing it as a side hustle. So once I saw that I was doing that, I kind of said, okay, let me take it a little bit serious. And I understood uh the process in the form of trusting the data, and then going by the data, and then having to have funds, right? And then I kind of really wanted to scale, but I didn't know how to do it. And obviously, everyone know to scale, you kind of need more items, right? So kind of fell into the trap of like trying to go buy bulk items and um, kind of deal with situations like that. So for about 2 years, a year and a half, I was kind of working through the Amazon channels of like doing it side hustle wise, going into the Ollies, trying to find items. It's difficult to kind of find because you I was dealing with the whole still gated in certain things. So I was kind of like getting frustrated, but I was still kind of pulling in some money with it. Because I'm kind of consistent and of like consistent in like going and trying to find items. So I think my first winning item that I found was actually in Ollie's. I was showing it to Omar and them the other day. Like it was like some Airwick that I was able to sell. And that kind of gave me my first kind of like $1,000 day. And I kind of like fed into that, like, yo, you could make some money here. So I start doing it a little bit more, start scaling. And then last year, while I've started to scale, I'm starting to buy more items because I'm making more money. Um, and then boom, I got an IP complaint, then I got a section 3. My account was deactivated. So I was basically deactivated in the time when um you had to make the most money, and that was Q4. So imagine I was like learning the process, start doing well, start making like 14K a month, and seeing like, oh, I'm starting to make some money here in this Amazon business. Let me go big. So I went ahead and I started buying bulk items, um I didn't get a section 3 from the bulk items. I actually got a section 3 from something so simple. It was like this item that I think I picked up in Marshalls or whatever, and I was selling it. I sold it actually, and probably like months later, Amazon hit me up with like, "Hey, we need an invoice," and it's like, shit, can't find the invoice for Marshall because I threw it in the trash or some shit like that. But long story short, like it kind of really hurt me because I had went ahead and buy some bulk, right? So I bought, some items I was moving really fast. So I was really looking good. And then I had $30,000 um in Amazon in like November or something like that, like last year, because I had bought some bulk items that was really moving. And then they just hit me with this IP complaint, and they hit me with a section 3 like right after that. Uh, so in the most crucial time of the year for me, I kind of lost my account. And when I did that, man, it kind of like hurt me because the funny story is I got my account back the first week of January. When all of the sales is done, right? When all of the madness is done, and I had volume in there that was gonna probably make me good 50K in December, easy, you know. And then I had money that was in there because when you sell bulk, obviously you sell shit fast, and they kind of hold your money. And when they hit me with the Section 3, they basically held my money, man. So I was going through it for the entire holidays. Christmas, I was like blue in the face. I didn't want nobody to talk to me because I have all this money now just wrapped up in some issues at Amazon. So the funny thing is like working for Amazon as a senior manager and like also trying to figure out like how the hell I get my account back? Who do I reach out to? I'm dealing with this seller support people that like they're like level 2 associates and I'm like level 7, right? Like I don't know. I was like in a situation where I can't talk to them on the company time, like, but I could see whoever is answering my case. I'm pulling their name up, but I cannot go to them and be like, "Yo, you're asking me for some stupid document that doesn't make sense." So I kind of like had to like do the answers to the emails for my business email, but I'm going to work and like seeing the person who answered my case, and I just wanted to scream at them or like talk to their manager or some kind of shit like that. But um, when I first finally got back my account, I kind of like it kind of taught me though, like, hey, yo, man, like you put in all your eggs in one basket, right? And obviously you read through a lot of the issues and the platforms that people come about Amazon or whatever. Um, but it kind of taught me, man. It kind of really taught me that, hey, if you're doing this, you're doing this as a business. And I think that's a very key point, right? Like this is a business at the end of the day. It's probably like fun to just start it. Um, and you just figure, well, I'm running a business, I'm making money, I'm selling items. But that particular shutdown, Section 3 and deactivation kind of taught me like, hey, if you're gonna do this, you have to do this as a business. So you have to put your business in place, right? You create an LLC, you know, you have that all kind of thing. You're getting, you know, you have seller permit or whatever. The whole business needs to be operated as a business, even though you're doing it at a small scale. So that kind of made me start thinking about like, hey, I need to kind of file my receipts, like file my stuff, put my stuff away, keep track of this, you know, the inventory that I'm buying and or I'm selling, because somehow like somebody's gonna ask you for some kind of documentation. And then and basically from Amazon standpoint, like you have to have that in check, right? So, and it's basically simple stuff. It's like if you're buying you know, authentic items, then you should just basically have a receipt or a invoice that could back that up. So that was the first learning experience for me, is like, okay, like how do I move away from the situation of just, you know, grabbing items that I could see to sell to just like making it into a business now, like buying stuff and filing the documentations. And then after I kind of beat that situation with the Section 3, got my account back, which took some money because you got to pay people to kind of like help you in the situation, and you know, to kind of legally like write documentation and whatnot. Um,
Hey, can you talk about that a little bit? Like, you hired like an Amazon lawyer that was a lawyer that was an Amazon specialist, or what do you mean by that?
yeah, so obviously within that time frame, man, like I'm searching for answers, right? So join like a bunch of discords and stuff like that from like seller forums or whatever, and um I kind of like stumbled upon like a group that was pretty cool. I'm no longer in it, but they were able to like give you resources. I think it's like you pay $50 a month or whatever you join, and you basically have like a whole Discord chat. And I was able to find some information in that chat that, you know, if you needed like a seller, if you had like, you know, section threes or whatever, there was this I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a lawyer, it's like an Amazon lawyer kind of, you pay like 1,500, I think it's seller something. But then they kind of make you pay like a crazy amount of money for protection. So you get like any IP claims or whatever the case is, the documentation for it and kind of like beat the case. So I kind of paid some money into that. I believe I paid like $1,500 or something like that. Just to kind of have someone like write the documentation and stuff for me, submit it. And then I think I finally got them to accept it, like right in the end of December, right? Yeah, so like January, week 1 in January actually is when they reviewed the last submission, and they basically said, hey, they accepted it and my account will be reactivated. So that's kind of what it is.
And I think for anybody who's looking for like specifics on that, and I don't want to speak for her, but Kiki, if I'm not mistaken, you have a lawyer on retainer that you recommend. So, you know, you can reach out to her, or, you know, if she wants to hop on and talk about that, she can.
Yes.
That's the case. Yeah. So reach out to her. She's in school, so feel free to do that, and she can give you the connect. So all right. So you got the section 3, which, you know, a lot of people are familiar with, and we've got a lot of people who, if you're familiar with college football, got the death penalty and have not been back on Amazon. And so, you know, was that your wake up call for Walmart? Like, how did you get on Walmart? Why are you on Walmart today?
Yeah. So once I beat it, man, and then I kind of like start looking, there was this distributor that I was getting my items from, the sales agent. He was just like, yo, man, you need to diversify yourself and like get on Walmart. So then I was just like, get on Walmart. So I know I saw a couple of videos on YouTube as well that people were talking about. I think it's one guy that was talking about like, yo, Walmart is pretty easy. And, you know, I think that's when they were first kind of kicking it off. So it didn't look that attractive to me. That is how everybody else was doing, right? For the whole Amazon spiel. You know, you were finding everybody talking about Amazon in the YouTube space, right? And on Instagram. And I couldn't find anybody talking about Walmart. Like, I remember probably just one person, I think his guy name was Cody or whatever, but he started to kill it and he started to break it down. So that was like the indication for me that, hey, I probably need to diversify, because I'm putting everything, all the eggs in my basket. And then Amazon is a little bit fickle. Like, it's very sensitive. It's a great business model once you figure it out, but it was like so sensitive. It's like every day I got a message from Amazon, like an email, and I'm waking up in the morning and I'm opening that email and I'm literally holding my breath, right? So because I just I'm thinking I'm about to get some kind of like complaint or some kind of thing like that. So, but no, the guy basically told me like, hey, get into Amazon, get into Walmart, right? Because they're a little bit more lenient, and they're going to take you once they see you have like an Amazon store. And then my Amazon store was doing pretty okay at that time, right? After I kind of get the section 3 or whatever, I started to sell most of the stuff that I was held in the SCs for like Q4. So then I started making money like soon as we kind of like started back, and every item's kind of like got back in control, in like the right state, in the active state. But the guy basically told me get on Walmart, and I kind of looked into it. So after I looked into it, I realized it was so easy to apply. Like the application process to me wasn't horrible, and it wasn't like, okay, like, a long period or whatever drawn out. But I think what they do for the most part is, in the beginning they were like trying to get Amazon sellers on their platform. So they were, for the most part, like looking at whatever. So once your application kind of go in, if you kind of put, well, you have Amazon store, they will look into your storefront, and kind of see some information, see some data from you. So when I applied, remember I said my sales started to kick in. So they start seeing that I was making money, and I started making money fast. After I kind of got the Section 3, obviously they don't know that, but the year started off really good for me because all of my products was basically sitting in an FC or whatever the case is. I actually have a story too, that they lost a pallet of mine while in that whole transition. But like the stuff that I kind of had to sell, unfortunately, some of the items I had to lower the pricing because the Q4 pricing has like kind of died down or whatever. So I kind of break even on some items, but it was enough volume to basically, sell. So when I applied to Walmart, they saw how much my sales was doing or whatever the case is, and I think I got selected for like a pilot, like a program or whatever, where they assigned me like an account manager. And I know a couple people have that as well. But that account manager was basically just helping me with my onboarding, just to kind of learn the platform, guide me through, and then I think they gave you like a data analyst person as well on that team for 6 months. So that was the kind of deal that was handed to me when I kind of joined Walmart. So I had that basically account manager. I think I will have it for a year, and then the data analyst was like for half a year or something like that. But then the data analyst was jumping on calls with me. I think like every other week or something, or every weekend. We basically start scheduling every other week once I start picking up the platform. But that
And
person was
what are you talking about with your data analyst?
so any issues I would have, right? So the platform is not hard to maneuver, but then they do have a lot of kinks, right? So they do have a lot of issues where you might get flagged for items, and because put it that way, my shipping templates was very much off, right? So I was getting hit with like late deliveries and all kind of stuff because of that. So that person was able to, like, when based on how my data was going, my pricing was off with a lot of things. My shipping templates, my pricing, and like me, basically I was using third-party software to like ship my items, so it was not correlating back to like the Walmart platform. So my metrics was basically bad my first couple of months, like because my business wasn't set up properly. So that data analyst will get on calls with me, and we'll kind of like go through issues by line by line, basically look at my metrics, and then, like, my customer reviews, like my ratings, like what I need to do if the customers are saying X, Y, Z. Is it my product? Is it listed correctly? Like stuff like that. So that person was able to kind of be on a support for me for 6 months. If I had to open a case, like a case ticket for something, for help with something, the perk was that person was able to, like, he can't go through and like solve my issue, but he can escalate my case, just to make sure like I'm kind of I'm getting support timely. And I think that was really good that Walmart does that, because never got that from Amazon, and I don't think Amazon really offer that. You kind of open up a case and it kind of just gets shoot to whoever, right? And if they basically understand your situation, then, or they kind of help you. If not, then you're basically have to resubmit documentation over and over and over and over and over. So that was a perk, man. That was a perk for me for Walmart. I think Walmart really wanted to scale, so They kind of like put that into place. So that was basically my humble beginning, man. So it started off like that. Um, and then we kind of dealt with the big issue where once we started, they regated everyone. So I was here thinking that everything was great, right? And started selling on Walmart, started making some money there, started trickling some volume in. Um, and then obviously the same way too, like the first couple of months, same way I did with Amazon, I was taking the time to learn the process and kind of like figure it out. But one of the things I would say, learning the Amazon piece versus Walmart is so easy on the Walmart side. Because I think the biggest issue for everyone on Amazon is what? Gated, right? It's everything is gated. You might scan something in the same category that you have access to, because the first thing everyone tell you, like, hey, go into the grocery items, go and get the grocery category. And that's good, and you can sell a lot of the items in the grocery, but maybe some of the hot selling items, the stuff that will probably fly off 50 times, 100 times a month, some of these items will be still gated, even though it's in the grocery category. So the brands will kind of get gated. On Walmart, it's not really like that, man. I think, yeah, you might have some issues with some brand that might not want you on there, but 90% of the items that's in the categories, you can sell it. So it kind of gives you a little bit more the freedom to make money on Walmart versus Amazon, where they kind of like your account needs to be, making a lot of money for them to kind of open up these categories for you. Versus Walmart, you can start off and scale very fast. Just because you have the accessibility now to just walk in and you can source a lot better with ease and buy products faster than you were with an Amazon as an Amazon seller. If you basically knew.
Right. Let me ask you. So I have a couple, kind of questions from the chat. So let's get into those real quick before I get back into mine. So from Kiki, she was asking about sourcing. Like, are you changing the way that you're thinking about sourcing because of the Section 3, or are you still doing the same thing, or have you stopped doing Marshalls and TJ Maxx and stuff like that? I mean, we were in Ollie's and you were cooking up. Your cart was crazy.
No, so I think as you kind of go ahead, you will start to learn how to pick items. Like as you go longer and more into this business of like selling, the data speaks, man. Like the data says a lot. And there's ways now to kind of check with Keeper and see, okay, this item is gonna probably give you like a Section 3. They have a trend of like, pulling sellers down or whatever the case is. So like when I'm sourcing now, I am basically looking for that if I'm gonna sell something for Amazon. So in the past, I think what kind of catches up to people is seeing the profit on an item. When you see the profit on an item, you just want to sell it, right? Because that's the first indication that you can make money of it. I think the data, you need to basically go and click into the data. I put down items that I will make $9 profit on or $10 profit on because I see either the brand is on there, or I see that, hey, like there's an indication that, okay, one particular seller is basically getting stuck on the buy box or whatever the case is, and it seems like everybody else is dropping off. So I'll kind of like attribute that hey, that person might have an LOA, and everybody else cannot sell that item. So I kind of look into that way. Sourcing for me now is great, man. It's so much easier. Because what I do now, I source for Walmart while I'm sourcing, right? And then as a byproduct, I also find items on that I can sell from Amazon. So I have situations now where I'm basically selling the same item, the same ASIN on both platforms, right? But for me, I could walk in to a store right now and fill up a cart faster for Walmart than I can fill up for Amazon. And in the same time frame, I'm buying this item that's gonna sell on Walmart, and I'm also picking up a couple because I saw that okay, it sells on Amazon, and it has good volume, right? So remember we bought the Christmas cookie house, whatever thingy. That
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that was a
yeah.
perfect score, right? When I scanned it, I saw it was selling really good on Walmart. And then I hit on Amazon and boom, selling like crazy there too. So initially it kind of makes me, because I'm able to sell on both platform, I could take advantage of like that particular situation. So yeah, to just answer your question, um I source now ideally for Walmart, and as a byproduct I will find items for Amazon as I'm looking as well, because I do flick back and forth. um and one of the main reasons I flick back and forth, Walmart don't really have that much data out there yet, right? So from an indication standpoint of, you buy something for, you're sourcing for Amazon, and you're basically able to say, well, I scanned this pen right here and the pen sells 100 times a month. So I make an indication, I make a decision and say, okay, well, if this pen sells 1,000 times a month, I could just look in and see, well, they got 5 sellers, right? They all got like 100 each. I'll buy 100 of each, right? Because more than likely I'll make some sales. The difference with Walmart, you don't really get, and people might have different softwares or whatever, but whatever I use, I don't really get that true number of sales, like monthly sales. um you have the situation where you can kind of look at the reviews and kind of get an indication that hey, that item will probably be a hot seller. So I typically don't buy heavy for Walmart unless I know it's an item that has like crazy reviews and I see that okay, it's gonna move. Um, so that's basically how I source. The indication of like how much to buy and whatever, it's kind of easier from an Amazon perspective, but it's so much easier to like I kind of buy items that are like test items, so test orders, I should say. So if I see something has a lot of reviews, and I'll buy, instead of me going really heavy, um, I'll buy 50 of it, if I can, or whatever the case is, and just say, okay, if it's moving, then I'll come back the next time and they'll say, hey, let me up the order on that particular item. So yeah, that's a good question.
Perfect. And then the follow up. So you kind of answered Mamit's question, and we'll have to connect because Mamit he's a New Jersey soldier too. So we'll do that. And then Kiki, maybe we're connecting next week, so maybe the three of us can connect too.
Yeah.
But we'll talk offline. But we gotta hit that Costco Business Center up. You you already know. I'm trying to see. We were talking about that. You weren't there. I don't know where you were at, but I was like, yeah, my man Aquino was talking about the Business Center. We gotta go. And they were like, you're going to the Business Center. I'm like, absolutely.
Hackensack? It's in Hackensack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're definitely trying to do that. So there's another question. So I've only seen you do RA. Do you do OA too?
Yeah, so I do OA. The funny thing is, crazy today, it got so cold and I was like, doing some stuff around the house, and I said, do I want to kind of go outside and pick up some items? Because technically I find stuff faster with RA, because these hot stores that we kind of go to, you can find stuff. And I can find stuff every day for Walmart. But anyway, today, and I was kind of like taking care of some businesses and stuff, like emails or whatever, going back and forth. And then I just landed on one product. And basically the brand kind of opened up multiple other opportunities for me. So that one particular brand that I think I just stumbled upon from, I think, just opening my my Amazon webpage, whatever, that brand opened up like multiple items for me. So I do OA. It's kind of difficult to find like products when you're just kind of like looking through like different catalogs, because you have to kind of scan or like use a scraper or whatever. But I was able to just find that particular brand today, and on a regular website where everybody kind of go to, like Frontier, right? And I know some people say Frontier is so hard to find items on because the catalogs is ridiculous. And you have to be, you might, there's hot items on there, but you got to know what category to look into or whatever the case is. But I just happened to find that one item, and that item opened up like 5 different items to me. So today I spent like $45 just on OA, just like buying stuff from that particular website, from some items that I sell. And the beautiful thing is, the reason I was able to spend, the reason I spent $4,500 is because I was basically sourcing for both platforms, so for Walmart and Amazon. So it was crazy that I found the item and I realized, like, whoa, they selling on both places. And I will put 50 in the cart and say, okay, 50 will go. I'll buy 50 of that item to sell on Walmart. Then I open it up again. I'm like, yo, let me just check to see. The beautiful thing is I was ungated in Amazon, so it made me kind of like flood the gates. When I saw that, I was ungated. The item was selling like really good. Like one of the items was selling 6K times a month. Next one item was selling like 500 times a month. Next one was selling 1,000 times a month. And then I saw most of the sellers, they were all out. So I kind of went crazy. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm buying shit here. But yeah, exactly. I do OA for the most part. But right. Typically we try to do the RA, because I think with RA, I get my stuff and I prep it like the same night sometimes, right? I'm eager for it to sell.
Yeah, and so, listen, it's crazy, because if you know me, you know I used to hate RA, and that was actually one of the big reasons why I quit after I brought Miles's training. Main reason, because I didn't network like an idiot. But me and Aquino, like me and Brian, like all of the NJ greats are sourcing RA, right? And I know it's scary for people who are starting. And there's a video that we did on RA and how to get used to it. So if you don't know it, just tap in, DM me, send me a text, hit me on Instagram. I'll tell you exactly how to get started on RA from a person who hated RA up until like 5 months ago. But and also we had a call the other day with a guy, the Amazon Trap Star, who tells you how to do wholesale with RA, which is crazy. I never thought about it before, but it's freaking insane. And Aquino, don't ask me how, because you basically already do it. But I wanted to also ask you, so Mehmet was asking, how do you manage, and you told me about this, so I think I know the answer. How do you manage ungating when you get error messages with items that you list?
On Walmart?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even though it's easier to, you do get some issues where some of the items might be like, hey, might be deals with like Philips, for example. Even though I'm able to sell health and beauty personal care items in Walmart, I can't sell Philips, right? So the Philips toothbrush or whatever the case is, I got a crazy deal on them the other day, and I snagged them up and then I go list them and I can't sell it. And then Walmart basically was telling me that, it's a business decision. Whenever they say it's a business decision, that means that they have like some kind of partnership with the brand or whatever the case is, so like they could only sell the item. It's only Walmart or the brand. So whenever I have typically whenever I have a bad feeling about a brand, or before I buy something, that's why I say I do test buys. If I buy something, if I'm gonna buy something and it's a bulk for Walmart, I would add it to my inventory first. If I'm able to sell it, then it will be good for like a couple hours, right? Like it will be listed, no error message or whatever the case is. If I can't sell it, obviously, once I list it, it will kind of go straight into the error message. And they will there's a way that Walmart basically said, hey, you can either you can appeal, right? So if it's something that I bought and I bought it from like an authorized distributor, then you can appeal to Walmart and say, hey, I got error message from these for this particular item ID, and I'm approved to sell in the category. And they will look into the items, and sometimes they open it up for you, based on if whatever the back end piece is, or they will basically tell you straight up like, hey, business decisions made, like this item will not be approved. Please do not list the item. So that's how I kind of deal with it. I kind of get the message from them and I make the decision right there whether or not I could basically go ahead and sell the item. And I typically also look and see if there's multiple sellers, or so basically that's what it is. If I'm buying something and I see in the last 180 days that Walmart has shared the buy box with like someone, like 4 people or whatever, 3 sellers, then I know the item is pretty open. If it's something where like only Walmart has been on it, or just one seller has been on it, then it's the same indication. I probably just take caution before I kind of go and like add something to that add my name on the listing to that.
Makes sense. Okay, makes sense. So appreciate that. So a couple of things I want to backtrack on a couple of things that you said. Number one, so what are the ways in which, and maybe this is simple, so I don't know if you need to go into a detail, but you talked about having to get more detailed and organized just in case that Section 3 pops up, or something else happens in the business. What are the ways in which you're tracking inventory, you're tracking receipts and things like that?
Yeah, so I use VQuo. So VQuo basically is an Amazon basically platform, right? But they basically give you access to integrate into other platforms. So like it's connected to my Walmart account, it's connected to my Amazon account, it's connected to my eBay store, and I believe Shopify as well. So I can basically, any items that I'm doing in FBM, I have it, in my VQuo on my VQuo platform. So I'm able to kind of keep track of like how much inventory I have for this particular platform and how much do I have for this particular platform. Once is the FBM order. So if I buy something and I want to split the order, then I will, list it at FBM and say, let's say I bought 100 of an item and I want to put 50 in Amazon, I'll put 50 in Walmart. Then I basically split it like that, put the inventory in both of their platforms, and then I also keep track of it in using my VQuo fulfillment platform. So I do that way.
Wait, Aquino, let me understand, because I have VQuo and I don't use that, so maybe I didn't realize you could do that. You can track inventory in VQuo?
Yeah,
really?
You can. Yeah, VQuo has a whole. You can manage your orders. You can manage your fulfillment. You could do third party. Like you could just make up an order. You could do profit analysis. Sorry. And on the warehouse in VQuo, you could basically set up your warehouse. with like inventory that you just have in the warehouse. So it pulls it automatically. So Vico kind of like give me like a breakdown of all of my all of the platforms that I'm selling on that is connected here. So it will connect to my Amazon, my Walmart, my eBay, my Shopify, and then it will basically say, hey, this is your gross profit. Basically it pulls the information from both of them. Your gross profit, your net profit, how much sales you had yesterday, your margins, whatever the case is, inventory count for whatever is low, check this particular inventory. So it's pretty cool in detail.
That's actually amazing because I did not know that. I use it. So first of all, if you're not using VCool for shipping, you're sleeping. When you first get started, they are going to give you money back on all the shipments, and there's like, I don't know, it's like 5%. It's something significant to get you on a platform. But after that, it goes down to 1 or 2%. But who cares? It's free money that you wouldn't have anyway. So what I've seen is that it's either the same price as Amazon or better, generally speaking. They do, I don't know how they do it, but like I'll ship something and it's like super heavy and it's super cheap. And I don't understand how it happens or what they do or what discounts they have. But like I'll ship something that's like 5 pounds and it'll ship for like $6. And I'm like, really?
Yeah. So another perk why I use Vico here too, because with this business and whatever, you gotta take advantage of credit card mileage and points and whatever the case is. Vico basically is connected to one of my Amex cards, right? So if you ship to Amazon or ship to Walmart, that comes out of your account. I don't get nothing for that just because it just comes straight out of my account. But me connecting my I connect like an Amex Gold or whatever, connect that to my Vico. If I'm buying $4,000 worth of labels a month, like shipping labels a month, I'm getting points. I'm getting, I think 5x, whatever, 3x or whatever the points on my Amex Gold, because it's basically an expense that obviously I'm gonna have to pay that. So it's either I pay it through my Amazon account or I just put it on a credit card and then they just pay it off as normal, right? It's the same money. But I'm getting so much points from that. So that's one of the perks for me for Vico, honestly. Being able to connect it to one of that, and it's a platform that just basically streamline everything together. So all of my FBM profits will kind of like get tallied here. I don't think it pulls my FBA orders, sales or whatever, but it probably does. Just have to kind of like get it organized that way.
And real quick, just be respectful of your time. We are almost at the top of the hour. Do you have a little bit more time to go? Because I still have a bunch of questions.
Yeah, I'm free.
I'm going to chop this call up into so many pieces, man. You listen, that Vico, listen, and this is, oh my God, guys, I'm telling you, like I talk to people every day, literally, and this is why you need to be networking. If you're not networking, you're missing out on so much money. Somebody just dropped something. Oh, you met Noah the other day when we were in Ollie's, right? This kid, and I'll show you this next time we get together. He showed me this thing about ungating I've never seen before. Like it's insane. We were scanning stuff and he's like, oh, do you see that little symbol right there? You're not going to get ungated. But if you don't see it, go to this. It's crazy. But what he's talking about right now, like he's just on his call and we would have this same conversation in person. I use Vico and I recommend it all the time. And I didn't know that it could do all this stuff. So you got to keep expanding your network. You're going to learn stuff. It's unreal. Even I was just talking to Kiki the other day. I forget what the hell we were talking about, but she was like, Omar, do you know about this? Do you know about that? I was talking to Liz earlier today, Liz from school. And she was like, hey, I'm making a ton of money doing this. You need to be selling this. She just texted me when I was driving to Delaware. Like, hey, Omar, there's a sale at Walmart tomorrow. Go buy this. Your network is how much you're going to make, 100%. And Aquino, if I'm not mistaken, tell me if I'm misquoting you, he wasn't really doing a ton of networking. And when we met, he was like, hey, listen, I'm trying to do more of this. I'm going to expand my network, because I think he realizes now that there's a lot of value in it. So sorry for ranting, but networking is my number one tip for everybody. Oh, Manny, you're on the Sellers United chat. Hey, just send me a text and we'll connect and we'll figure out when we can get together, because I want to go to that store. And if you want to go to Costco with us, just let me know. But here, send me an individual text. But I'm sorry, go ahead, Aquino.
Yeah, and I was saying the network piece is big, man. Because there's so many questions and there's so many issues that people go through, that if you're doing that by yourself, you're gonna feel burnt out, and that's when you're kind of gonna hit that wall. For me, man, like, I think I started to, when I made the decision and I said, hey, this thing is working, I'm making good money from it, but then I'm thinking I'm doing good if I'm pulling in 30K. I was doing 25, 30K a month. And I'm like, yeah, I'm making money on Amazon now. But then I'm seeing this guy there on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram who's making 20. So I'm like, yo, there's a little bit more there, right? And it's just literally, I started to say to myself, people's time is important. So I do understand, like, some of the gurus or whatever the case is that might say, hey, I want to charge you X, Y, and Z, because once you start figuring things out and you start being out there, people are gonna come to you, right? And it could be a little bit more, because I do help a lot of people right now. But like, I understand. So what I did for me is, like, I found few people that were doing very well. And I was just like, I reached out like, hey, let me book some time with you. Pay the guy $100. I should touch base with him, just to understand his ins and out or whatever the case is. And I felt like when I made that offer to him, he don't sell a course or nothing like that, but I could see that he was doing well, right? He's a good seller. I told him, yo, let me give you $100 for your time. That 45 minutes or hour that we spent together talking, he was able to help me with so much crap. Like, I don't want to curse, but we literally looked at my store. It wasn't that, it's not always that you're not finding the right item. Sometimes it's your settings, and that's key, right? You can find an item that sells 50 times a month, 100 times a month, and you're not able to move it. But it could be something in your system, your shipping template, whatever the case is, like something in your store that is preventing you from making sale. So when I set up the time with the guy the first time, and I said, hey, let me pay you $100 for your time, whatever. I just want to pick your brain, because I'm finding products, I'm seeing the items, it could sell, but some of the items doesn't sell as fast. And that guy within that time frame looked over my shipping templates, like showed me like things I was like, hey, this is gonna suppress you as a seller, because like the customer in your area is not seeing it, that they're gonna get it as same thing, like it's fast, right? So we fixed my shipping settings. When I tell you, the next day, my sales of items that was sitting for months started to pick up, because now somebody that's clicking, someone in my area or whatever the case is. So I live in New Jersey. There's items that I sell on some ASINs that will sell like 400-500 times a month, 600 times a month, 1,000 times a month. I'm guaranteeing you, I'm getting all the New Jersey sales because of how my shipping template was set up, and I'm getting them the items faster, whatever the case is. I'm pouring out New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania sales from my account, my Amazon account, like so crazy right now because of how my shipping settings was set up. So that's a key piece for people to kind of like take in, and just to make sure you have
and
that.
So, Mehmet actually asked a question about that. Do you have any tips that you can share about shipping settings? He feels like his aren't set up correctly, and he just got started on Walmart, so this is probably a good space for him.
Yeah, I think what you need to do is just like anything that is within the Northeast region, and again, this will be based on if you have the ability to get the item shipped fast, right? Like I think the selling point for Amazon and Walmart is like they want you to get your items fast. Like they want the customer to see, if I click today, I can get it tomorrow. So one, I don't have 0 day. I basically have 1 day. When you put 0 day, you do get some OTD issues. So I wouldn't recommend 0 day. I put like a 1 day lag, which gives me the ability to not to always beat OTD, right? So once you put 1 day, and I think I have a shipping cutoff time of like 2 p.m., but you could even make it as early as 11 a.m., right? So that gives you now enough time that 10 a.m. in the morning, 11 a.m., let's say you have it as 11, then that they're not expecting you to ship that item till the following day because you have a 1 day lag. But you're still gonna take the opportunity to ship the item the same day you get the order, right? Once you ship it the same day you get an order, then your OTD score will always be good because the customer the items faster than anticipated. So I definitely do have 2 day shipping as a template. I have 1 day shipping for like my New Jersey, New York metro zip codes. The reason for that is because now I know I will be able to ship my items out every day, right? On the day off. So any sale come in before 2 p.m. on a daily basis, I can get that out, right? So I basically have a plan for that. So if someone is buying something from me, they can particularly get it in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and I think Massachusetts area within a day, all right? So because they order it today, I get it out. My UPS goes out by like the down the block. They don't get picked up till like 6 o'clock. Then the other one like 7 o'clock. I can drop off at the USPS till like 5:30. So once your shipping settings is set up correctly, and you either have that like all lined up with the pricing and all that kind of stuff, and I think the other piece for my shipping template is I think is I believe I changed it from weight to by per piece. So by per order, right? So some of the 1 day shipping is basically, I think is basically free, but something like far distance, they get additional charges. Because for me, if I'm shipping something from here and it's 1 day shipping with UPS or whatever, is between $5 and $6.50, literally. So that's already baked into my price, right? So I could still get the item expedited to the customer for $6.50 for $6.50, which is cheap, right? So they're getting this stuff fast. By the time I get the order, if it comes in before 2 o'clock, most times I get it packed up and shipped out, right? It's not expected to go out till the following day anyway, because I have a 1 day lag, but I still get it out early. So
Right.
that's how.
Oh, sorry about that. Here's another question. And I think I know the answer if it's like Amazon, but can you change your shipping template? So can you do it like Monday through Thursday, Friday through Sunday? Like, can you set it up for that as a template?
Yeah.
Like by the day?
Yeah, you can set your fulfillment center have a cutoff time. So you can put cutoff times for your different days for your fulfillment center.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I think that answers your question, Manny. Shout out to Noah who's on the line. And then also Brian was going to come to the line, but he's got to be to work at like 2 a.m. So that guy is a friggin' animal. All right. Yeah. So if you guys have any more questions, we're going to try and close this out in the near term, but a couple more questions. Oh, just put them in the chat, by the way. And also, if you want access to the notes. Oh, Manny, if you want to just hop on, it looks like you're raising your hand. Feel free. Or if you did that by mistake, I don't know. Looks like you did it by mistake. Okay.
It was a mistake. Sorry, man.
Oh, no, that's all good. If you have questions, put them in the chat. Couple of do you have any, kind of tips for beginners, right? I think, generally speaking, we're like either thinking about Walmart, just got started, or like super novice. Like for somebody who's just getting on a platform based on what you've seen over the last 6 or so months, what are kind of some tips you can give to them to kind of get scaling? Because you crush pretty quickly.
Yeah. I would say if you have both accounts, like obviously I think Amazon is a gold mine, but I think you can basically scale faster with Walmart. It's really easy. If you can sell in the grocery category and you're basically good there, then you can literally always find items to sell, right?
Okay.
I think I think once you start selling items, it gives you confidence, right? And I think for someone who's selling on Amazon and they can't find the right items or the data doesn't, back anything up, then it kind of makes you feel that you're not doing well. But then the reality is for Amazon, you got to find that particular item to hit. I find items really easy, man. Like put it that way. A cheat code to make money on Walmart is to go to Walmart stores and go in the shopping aisle with the clearance. 90% of the items that's on Walmart stores, you can sell it on Walmart.com. So when I started Walmart, I literally used to go into every store, and I love the stores that basically condense all their clearance into like 2 aisles, 2 valleys, or whatever the case is. That makes it easier for me, right? That I don't have to walk to the pets department, go find their back end cap with clearance, because that's what I do at Target. But at Walmart, they put all their clearance in like 2 aisles, some stores for the most part. But that gives you right there the opportunity to find. I can guarantee you, if you're selling on Walmart and you go into a clearance aisle, you can find items to sell and make money quick. And a key indication of that will be like a toy or something like that. Once it's not like, those crazy brands like Lego or whatever the case is, but you can find any item in Walmart on clearance and go check it, scan it, see have good reviews or whatever, and you can sell it online. You can sell it on Walmart.com. Very much easy. As I was telling you, like one of the items that I sold the most on Walmart was the Keurig, right? I actually bought the Keurig that were going for like $99, and it was Christmas time, and I bought it to sell it on Amazon, thinking I can get it ungated. So I bought Walmart had Keurigs on clearance or sale or whatever for $30, but it priced $99 at Amazon. I spent like $800 just buying Keurigs alone. Like my basement was full of Keurigs. Amazon never ungated me for this shit. I had these shits for months in my basement. My girl was mad at me, right? So Keurig go up to the wall because I just buy mad at them because they were like $30. Right. Couldn't sell them. Guess what? Soon as I got access to Walmart.com, Walmart platform, I said, let me see if I can sell these Keurigs there. Keurig was selling, bro. At that time, the Christmas price was off, and I got it for $30, and now they're back to $99. I was selling them $30 Keurigs for $99.
Yo, there we go.
Crazy. Easy.
And this is what I'm talking about. Listen, next I'm gonna hit you up, man. We gotta go. Listen, I gotta get tapped into your sourcing. Like I know you be out in the streets, man. We gotta do it. And listen, the whole New Jersey crew, even Kiki from New York, we need to be tapped in with you a little bit. Try and see what we can do on this Walmart side. But listen. Oh wait, real quick, were you the one who told me about the dog cooling mat? Was that you?
The dog cooling mat?
Okay, that wasn't you. All right, because the look on your face is like that wasn't you. I thought we were talking about that at Ollie's, but maybe that was Noah. I don't know. But yeah, listen, man, this has been a crazy call. Actually, I feel like we need to get back together again and do this again, because I know just having conversations with you in person, and then everything that you've been dropping today, there's a 102 version of this, but I don't want to go too crazy. We've already been over 10 minutes, 15 minutes actually at this point. But I feel like you just dropped the clip. There's going to be a million clips from this, number one. So I got to say thank you for coming on to the community call. We're going to get the replay up so folks can check this later. But amazing value. I'm deeply appreciative. Like I said, we just met a few weeks ago, and the fact that you're going to come on and allow us to, pick your brain and understand, all the stuff you're doing on Walmart. Listen, it's Q4. Like my man Paolo the Great said, you can sell rocks, and apparently you can sell dirt over at Walmart. So if you're not on, get over on Walmart. Understand the opportunity and go make money. This is all we're about. We're trying to create freedom. Kino was just talking about how he left a great job at Amazon for this opportunity. And now he's taking care of himself and his kid, and his girlfriend, fiance. And so there is an opportunity. Amazon isn't the only space. We want to stay on Amazon, but Walmart, eBay, Mercari, all these other places, you got to diversify, because you can get hit like you got hit on Amazon on Walmart. What is the backup, right? So keep that in mind. But Aquino, I'll text you after this. We got to connect for sure. But again, I want to say thank you for coming on and blessing us in the community. Yeah, man.
Thanks for the opportunity, and happy to jump on anytime again. And people can reach out to me. Again, you learn more, and you kind of get more from a community, and I think there's value here, right? Like, and like on Discord with people or whatever the case is. And I think when the group is so big, then you kind of have people start talking about different things and start going left. But I think there's a small knit group thing. I think our text message that we have here, that we have going, I think there's value, because one or two pictures are and people's successes are motivation. You can kind of see like, oh man, if I'm doing this, man, I'm telling you guys right now, if I can do this, and I'm not making it seem like I'm an idiot or whatever, but like, no, it's proven, right? Like, there's two things to make you successful in this particular situation: having the funds to do it, and that's easy with business credit cards and whatever the case is. And then having the mindset and the will to just go out and just buy the items. And I think you will start making a decision to see like, hey, I will spend that money because I'll get it back. And just, you're never going to lose. Well, I won't say you're never going to lose, but I'm realizing like when you make the right decision with the data that you have in front of you, which is easy now, or, scanning with your phone or whatever, just go ahead and take that risk, man. And there's a reward behind it for sure.
Right. And if you're looking for Aquino's information, it's in the notes, so you'll see it in there. And also there is a link to Viku. If you're not using it, you are sleeping, you are losing time, you are losing money, you are missing out. And apparently I'm an idiot too, because I didn't know that it could really help you run your business. So we're going to look into that. Actually might see if we can get them on a call or something to come in and talk about it deeply. But Aquino, thanks again. And we'll bring you back to do a part 2 to this. And look for a text from me. I'll hit you up in a bit. Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Appreciate it,
guys.
I thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.